Commissioners, item 53 is to discuss and determine whether to abolish the elected office of the Constable of Mesquite Township or to appoint a suitable and qualified person to fill the vacancy in said office and direct staff accordingly. And with that, I'll turn it over to Deputy County Manager Bateman for a brief overview.
Good morning, Commissioners. This is really an item for you to direct staff as to next steps as a result of the office of Mesquite Constable becoming vacant on the 2nd of January as a result of the law that requires the Mesquite Constable to become post-certified within a year of their appointment or election. In this particular case, it became vacant on January 2nd. However, I think Mr. Thurston's here. We did not become, or were not notified by post until February 14th officially. So two options that the statutes provide you is one, you can abolish the office. You've done that in the past with, I believe, Boulder City. Or the statutes require you to appoint within 60 days of the February 14th date that we've determined was the date that we received notice. Also, if you go that route, this office would be on the ballot for this year. So that will be for the first 2 weeks of March that people can run for the position. So we just need some direction from the board officially as to whether you would consider abolishing it or if we want to move forward with filling the vacancy within the next 60 days. Based on the February 14th date, I think the latest we would want to put it on for an appointment would be April 2nd. And then, you know, we can discuss as staff with the members of the board how you want to go about the process for finding someone to be appointed. It sounds like there may have to be a little bit of recruiting to go on, but that's the kind of direction we would need for this particular item this morning.
Mr. Kirkpatrick.
So one, I don't want to abolish it. So Mesquite, they're far enough out that, you know, we need to provide some Clark County services. Currently, Bunkerville is helping fill that void, and I'd like to keep it that way so that it stays in the area out there, in the northeast area. I know that the constable is here. Mr. Thurston is here, but this really goes back to unintended consequences from the legislature. We tried to tell them that 15,000 was too low. Unfortunately, Mesquite now is at 21,000. I do think that needs to be revisited in the next legislative session, but you know, it fell on deaf ears when I said 15,000 was just too low because as a state we're growing. But you know, I want to, much like any of you would want to protect your rural areas, I'm protecting my rural area, and I'd like to keep it, and then maybe see who files, because everybody would have to file. Even if we put a vacancy in, they would have to file for office. So I'd like to keep it the way it is today, and we have Bunkerville helping, which is what I want, and to see what happens after filing, and then we can look for a vacancy until afterwards. But I don't know, maybe we want to let the constable have a couple words, but that's the direction I'm headed.
This is not a public hearing, but if you want to say a few words, Mr. Thurston.
Yes, I'd like to let you know that with this, I did go to the academy 2 different times. In April, I went and I didn't pass the physical. Right after that, I went to a trainer and a gym for 6 months, get ready for that. Went back in October with my learning disability. I was not able to pass the test. There was 10 tests the first week. I was only able to pass 3 of them. In the elementary school, I was one-on-one out of the classroom more than I was in the classroom. I was held back in 2nd grade. And I was also summer school. So I asked, after that second time, I asked for that I had a learning disability to the board. They said they could not give me any advance. It wouldn't be fair to the other candidates to let me have the material to study ahead of time. I also didn't know that I reached out to Marilyn Kirkpatrick in October about how to extend my things. She said it wasn't the commissioners. I did not know where to go until Jeff Rogan informed me in January 20th that it was through the...
Mr. Thurston, in all fairness, as I just said, And,
I-
you know, it is a state law that was passed, for one, and there's post requirements. I didn't put those in. I opposed
I know you
those.
didn't. I was trying to find
So,
out how.
But I'm saying, I told you that you had to work with posts because the county commission has no say over what post does.
So what I've done, since I talked to Jeff Rogan, as soon as I found out there was post, I did put my request in. They do have me on the agenda for Thursday to see if they'll extend that to me. So all I'm asking is, if it's possible, if you let me have that extension.
Well, that's not an issue right now, so, but as a private attorney, I would say you do have a potential disability case against the state post, but that's a separate issue.
Don't help me, Commissioner. So I'm just going to point out one more time, and Mr. Bateman, if you want to back me up. What's before us today is we have been notified by post that there is a vacancy based on current situation. And so the current situation is that you did not pass and you had the right to appeal it, so you are appealing it. But for us, we have to take action because we cannot not have a service out there. We are required by law ourselves. And I'm not an attorney, but am I right? I would feel like I've done the constable thing for a long time. So I'm just saying, if post grants you a waiver, great. But we're saying today, I don't want to vacate the office. I don't want it to go away because that's
Okay.
the choice that's before me today.
That's what I want
What
to,
you
yes.
work out with post is entirely up to post because they really don't care what I think, but I have a responsibility to the constituents and I want to make sure that the service stays. And I want to be very clear that Bunkerville is filling in, and Bunkerville should be the only person filling in out there because it's a small community. So,
I agree. Thank you.
so that is my motion is to, and I'm not an attorney, but you guys make me feel like I want to take the LSATs just to see if I could do it.
Don't do it.
So my motion is to not abolish the constable's office in Mesquite. For the record, is to wait to see who files, which anybody can file, and then they have a year to get post-certified. You hear what I'm saying, Mr. Thurston?
I understand.
And in between, Bunkerville will cover it. So that's my motion.
All right, there's a motion, cast your vote.
Not bad for a non-lawyer.
I think she's a lawyer and a judge.
Yeah, and the jury.
That
Commissioner,
motion passes.
Commissioners, it's now